If you're confused about whether you need a cover letter or how to write one, you are not alone. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking you through 6 steps on how to write a standout cover letter. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Hayles, and this is Hayles Consulting, a business dedicated to helping you gain confidence and clarity in your career. Your resume allows you to holistically explain your professional story, whereas your cover letter is the opportunity for you to explain why your professional story makes you the best candidate for a position or a company. I've read a lot of cover letters over my time as a recruiter and just working as a career coach in general. And a lot of times what I see is that people do a beautiful job at explaining their professional story, but they neglect the opportunity to align or attach their professional story to a specific position or company. The cover letter is the opportunity for you to really highlight your work experience and explain why this work experience makes you the best candidate based off of what they need for the company or what they need for a position. Now, before we even get started here, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. And also follow Hayles Consulting on Instagram for more career tips, interview tips, and resume tips. I post every single day on the Instagram, except for Sundays because I need a day off, but every single day. So go ahead and follow Hayles Consulting on Instagram. So there are 2 questions that I get a lot about cover letters. The first one being, do you really need a cover letter? And the second one being, does anybody even read it? Now, to answer the first question about whether or not you actually need one, the answer is yes, but mainly if they ask for it. If a company asks you for a cover letter, you should absolutely provide one. No questions, just submit it with your application. Now, a lot of companies are moving in a direction where they're making a cover letter optional, which I think is fine, but you have to remember, when you're in a pool full of candidates, anything can help you stand out. So if you're one of the only applicants that provided a cover letter when it was optional, you are standing out from the crowd. So keep that in mind. Even though they're saying you don't have to provide it, it's kind of up to you, it is something that could make you stand out, especially if it is a standout cover letter, something that no one's ever read before. And I would highly recommend, if you're applying to a startup or a small business or a company that has a very small recruiting team or just small size in general, I would highly recommend adding a cover letter, because that means that they're more than likely not going through as many applications as a really big company. So again, it comes down to standing out. And in this case, I would highly recommend that you write a cover letter when you're applying to a startup or a small business. Now, heading into the question of whether or not someone's actually reading your cover letter, the answer is yes. However, they're only reading it for about 10 seconds. So you want to keep that in mind when you're writing it. And again, going back to that whole idea of a startup or a small business, there's a greater chance that a recruiter at one of these type of companies will read your cover letter or just read your application entirely. So the answer is yes for a small business or a startup. However, I would say like at a larger company or a Fortune 500 company, there's definitely less of a chance that they'll read your cover letter, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't. It just depends on the person, how much time they have, whether or not they want to. But you do want to keep in mind that they're probably not going to be reading it for more than 10 seconds. So it's important that you provide that impact in the beginning of your cover letter. In terms of getting stressed out over the actual creation of a cover letter, you don't need to, because there are so many templates on Microsoft Word, on Google Docs, on Canva, so many beautiful templates that you can use where you just plug in your own words and they are ready to go. So do not let the development of the cover letter stress you out. Be more concerned with the content. So the first step to writing a standout cover letter is to format it like an actual letter. I've seen a lot of cover letters where the person forgot it was a letter. They just threw some words up there, threw a paragraph here or there, and just left it at that. But no, a cover letter is a letter, so it needs to be formatted accordingly. The same way you used to write letters when you were in middle school or in elementary school and send them off to people, it's the same exact way. And although you're not going to be sending your cover letter in the post office or through USPS, it doesn't matter. You still want to format it accordingly. So you want your name, you want your date, you want the company's address, sincerely, body paragraphs. All of the elements that make up a traditional letter need to be in your cover letter. And so the second step to writing a standout cover letter is to write an impactful opening statement. So you want to make sure that that opening statement or that first sentence or that first few sentences is impactful and creative and possibly something that they've never heard before. In the opening, you want to stay away from sentences like, I'm writing this letter because. That is literally a template. I don't know who made it, but it is a template opening for almost every single traditional cover letter. And it does not allow you to stand out. It does not allow the attention of that person to be grasped within that 10-second time frame. So you want to get creative with some of these opening statements. I've seen opening statements that are like, I heard that your company is doing XYZ and I knew this is somewhere that I wanted to work. Or I wanted to work at your company since I was 10 years old. Or I heard that your company had an opening for a position that I've been wanting since whenever, and I want to work here, and I'm so happy to be, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm getting dramatic now, but you get the point. Get creative and make it personal. Like, let them know that you are not a robot and you're not writing the same exact thing that everyone else is writing. Make your opening statement personal. Now, within your opening statement, not only do you want to have that really creative wow opening, you also want to include what the position is that you're applying for. Include the exact title, and also where did you hear about that position? Did you find it online? Were you referred by someone? If you were referred by someone and somebody told you about the position, you want to highlight that individual because that lets the company know that you have rapport with the company, and it may not be with them directly, but it's with someone that works there, and that's always great for hiring managers to see. Now, in addition to letting them know the position, you want to very briefly describe why you're interested in the position. And when I say why you're interested, I mean let them know briefly, and when I say briefly, a very few words, literally a sentence, why you're qualified based off of your experience. When I say briefly, I mean it. Do not start rambling because there's going to be another section in your cover letter for you to do that. Say it very briefly, that you're qualified based off of these, whatever amount of experience that you have for that position. Now, the third step to writing a great cover letter is to describe why you're qualified for the position. Now, in order for you to really accurately describe why you're qualified for the position, you need to firmly understand what the position is calling for. So before you even write this paragraph or these few sentences, go back to the job description and read it over. What are the skills that they're looking for? What are the years of experience that they're looking for? What are the things that they really are highlighting in the job description? And if they've written anything as optional or advanced or things that, they're not necessarily looking for, but it would be great if you have them, you want to pay attention to those as well. Now that you went over the job description again and you found out the skills that they're looking for or the optional skills or the advanced skills, it's time to write why you are qualified for the position. And when you're writing why you're qualified, in addition to writing the skills that they said that they absolutely need, I want you to also highlight any of the optional skills or the advanced skills that they said they need if you possess them. If you write about those optional skills and you having them, you just took your application to the next level because you're letting them know not only do you possess the skills that they absolutely need in a candidate or in an employee, you're letting them know that you also possess additional skills that are going to be advantageous to the position. And a lot of times I see in cover letters, people completely leave out technical skills. Yes, those soft skills are very important. We get it. We get you're analytical and you're a team player and oriented and all that good stuff. That's awesome. But if a job description is asking you to be proficient in Excel and proficient in SQL or proficient in programming in C++ and Python, and you just left that out of your cover letter, I mean, they didn't put it there for no reason. It doesn't mean that you need to list out every single technical skill, but if you can just use, that you do this job on a daily basis and you're applying to do the same exact thing somewhere else, highlight those technical skills that you absolutely need to have. Because I see them get left out of cover letters very often and they're so important. Now, when it comes down to writing about why you're qualified for the position, Please do not list the skills. I'm begging you, do not list them. I've seen time and time again where people will write, I'm qualified for this position because I am analytical, team-oriented, team player, project manager, and all of the above. And they're just listing out every single skill on the job description. If we wanted this job description written over again, they would have asked you for it. They didn't need your help creating the job description again. They get it. And they're hoping that if you're applying for the position that you have all those skills. So there's no need to list every single skill set out again because that is not impactful. So please do not do it. So let's say you're an event planner and you're writing a cover letter to be an event planner at another company. You don't want to just write, I'm qualified for this position because I'm an event planner and I plan multiple events. Duh, we get that. No, of course you're doing that, or else you wouldn't be applying. Again, this video is about being impactful, and if you want to show impact, then the way in which to do that is talk about a specific situation. So a better way of writing this would be, I have 7+ years of experience planning over 100 events with budgets ranging from $10,000 to $100,000, and because of this, I know I am qualified for this opportunity. If I read that, I'd be like, yes, you are qualified for this opportunity. And I would call you or email you immediately because that lets me know you laid it out for me on the line exactly why you're qualified, based on your tenure, based off of the budgets that you've worked with, and based on the scope of events that you've planned. Now, the fourth step to writing a standout cover letter is to describe why you're interested in the position. So again, make an effort to read about the company in the job description that they provide you. Read about the company's About page. Go on Google, type the company in, go to the news tab. What's trending about them? What's new? What's amazing things that they're putting out into the world? And very similar to before, where I do not want you to just list out a ton of things that you love about the company, back it up. That's fine if you want to say that you love their sustainability metrics or their innovation. That's fine, perfectly fine. But what about their sustainability metrics do you love? Did you read something about it? Is it in the job description? What about the innovation do you love? Did they just create an incredibly new product or service, or are they, creating new marketing strategies? Be specific about it. And in addition to specifics, as I said before, the cover letter is the opportunity for you to align your work experience with the company and the position. So you can't just throw a ton of stuff out there about what you love about the company. Talk about how that admiration aligns with your experience. So for instance, say that you're applying to IKEA and you love that they're moving in the direction of sustainability. It's not enough to just say that you love IKEA because they're sustainable and that's why you want to work there. You have to tie it back to you. So you want to say something along the lines of, maybe you're an interior designer, or you really have a passion for designing spaces and furniture and really getting excited about that. And because of that, you know how unethical the building of furniture or the furniture industry can be based off of the manufacturing of furniture and products. And because of this, you really admire a company that has a dedication to sustainability. So it's not about just throwing this idea of sustainability in, it's about letting the company know that based off of your own morals or your own values, you really love the fact that you have this passion for interior design or passion for the ethics behind an industry that sometimes can be unethical, and that you want to work at a company that's uplifting these values, and because of that, that's why you want this position. Tie it back to you. You cannot just throw the words in and let them sit there. They're not going to speak for themselves. Now, the fifth step to writing a standout cover letter is to close with confidence and your contact information. Now, when I say close with confidence, I mean close with confidence. Do not say statements like, if you're interested, or if you feel so inclined, or if you feel I'm qualified. First of all, you just spent hours writing about why you're qualified for the position and why you deserve to have the position. So then why are you questioning at the end if you're qualified? No, close with confidence, because that's the entire point of the cover letter, to prove that you're qualified for the position. So you don't need to reinstate again if you're qualified. By the end of it, they should know you're qualified if you wrote it in a standout or impactful way. You want to say statements like, I look forward to speaking with you in the near future, or I would enjoy the opportunity to speak with you in the near future. Be confident. Make it sound like they enjoyed your letter, and because they enjoyed your letter, they want to contact you, or they want to speak with you, or they want to interview you. Please do not end the letter with, if I'm qualified, or if you feel so inclined. They better feel inclined after you just spent all these hours writing this letter. No. So end it with confidence. And in addition to ending it with confidence, you need to include your contact information. Again, this is a letter, so you want to include your email and your phone number. If you have a website, you can add your website as well, but you want to include something towards the end of your cover letter where they'll be able to contact you. Now, the sixth and final step to writing a standout cover letter is to include a closing sentence. Now, a closing sentence from a formatting perspective, I would suggest that you make it on its own line, having a separation between the rest of the paragraphs on your resume. And you want to get creative with this closing sentence. The reason why I have this on the list of 6 things is because the cover letters that I've read that stood out the most have this creative closing sentence, and it works. It's usually funny or incredibly confident or ask a very funny question. It's just a really great way to show off your personality. So as I said before, if you're applying to that event planner position, your closing sentence could be, I can't wait to plan your next event. If you're a coder or a programmer or a software engineer, something that requires you to code, you can say, I'm ready to start coding. Like, get creative, get fun. Think of a last sentence that's obviously appropriate. Like, don't get crazy out here talking about, I don't know, all kinds of things. Like, again, be professional, be appropriate still, but you want to be, show off your personality, show off some of that confidence that you have, because it can set your letter apart. And as I said before, every single letter that really stuck out to me or like made me laugh or got me excited, I'm like, oh my God, I love this person, I don't even know them. It's because they had this very funny closing sentence that really stood out. So as we wrap things up here, please remember that a cover letter is the opportunity for you to describe why you are qualified for a position. Do not allow it to be vague, allow it to be very specific. Show your impact and provide those impactful stories or those impactful metrics. Let a company, a hiring manager, a recruiter, whoever's hiring know that you are the best qualified candidate based off of your experience. And in addition to that, let them know that you love the company or you love the position or you love whatever it is that you're applying for based off of XYZ qualities. And when you list out those qualities, align those qualities back to you. As I said earlier in this video, I am a career coach. So if you're like, Brittany, I just wrote my cover letter and now I need somebody to review it, guess what I can do? Review it for you. So you can email me at info@haylesconsulting.com, or down in the description box down below, you can actually go ahead and book a cover letter review session with me, where I'll provide you line by line feedback on your cover letter. As usual, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. Comment down below if you have any other cover letter tips. We want to learn from you too. This is a community. Do not forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and do not forget to share. I love making these videos, and I love making these videos because I want people to watch them. So share them. Share them with everyone and anyone who you think would benefit from them, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.